Good morning. Welcome to Temple Buddhist Center's Sunday meditation service. Before we begin today, let's take a moment to honor our veterans and their heart of service. My name is Jordan, and I'm honored to be of service this morning. We hope our service this morning finds you happy and healthy, but know that if you are struggling, we hope that Temple Buddhist Center can be a source of refuge for you as we open our hearts to you and your loved ones. Let's begin this morning with conscious breathwork, taking a few moments to ground, to experience the body, and to breathe together. Conscious breathing is where you seal the mouth, breathe deeply through the nose, and pause for a moment before releasing slowly so that the exhale is longer than the inhale. Let's begin. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, feeling the fullness of the lungs. Releasing slowly, and as you release, checking in with the body, just being aware of what is present and alive in the body right now. A second conscious breath. Breathing in, pausing just a moment, ventilating this precious human form, then releasing slowly. As you release, see if you can release any worry or concerns from the week. All the energy of doing, going, striving, accomplishing. Just allow yourself a few moments to cultivate the energy of being and not doing. A third conscious breath, breathing in together, releasing slowly, and as you release, taking time to invite into your awareness the present moment, fully arriving in the here and now. Here at Temple Buddhist Center, we like to begin service with a chant. Chanting is an integral part of every tradition, and it's not about being a singer, it's about having a voice. I'll leave it to Victor to explain today's chant.
Thank you, Jordan. Good morning, everyone. And our chant this morning is Metta Karuna Mudita Upekkha. In the Buddhist tradition, these are known as the Brahma Viharas, or the Four Immeasurables, also sometimes called the Four Faces of the Heart. Metta is loving kindness, Karuna is compassion, Mudita is joy or sympathetic joy, which means a win for one of us is a win for all of us, and Upekkha, which means equanimity, which I'll actually be talking a lot about today. And equanimity is that capacity to remain steadfast in all conditions, sort of like a lighthouse that shines brightly in fair weather or foul weather. So metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha. So let's begin with a conscious breath. Together. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. 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 With a smile. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Metta karuna mudita upekkha. Once more. Metta karuna mudita upekkha.
Beth and the kids are here with us this morning. Oh, whoops. Sorry, I was jumping ahead. Spoiler alert. Here at TBC, we practice Western Buddhism, a blend of Eastern philosophy and Western psychology. This new and exciting form of spirituality is dynamic, inclusive, active, and focuses on core Buddhist insights, mindfulness, meditation, and the practical application of our daily life. Our goal here isn't to get everyone to agree on one lineage or philosophy. Rather, it's on cultivating a shared experience of mindfulness, oneness, and love. Whether we are chanting, meditating, or sharing from the heart, we respect that you'll participate only at a level that feels comfortable for you. We take refuge in the three jewels and acknowledge these core values as expressions of the awakened mind: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. We value awareness of our own Buddha nature, as well as the Buddha nature of all beings, allowing a new perspective of this and every precious moment. The second jewel is the Dharma, the truth teachings that release us from fear and delusion and help us realize the true nature of who we are. And Sangha, spiritual community, an essential part of growth, where we practice the teachings together and support each other along every step of the path. Let's take a moment to silence any electronic devices and prepare for a meditative environment. Let's prepare for the prayer of refuge, and we'll recite this together 3 times. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. In Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, we go for refuge until fully awakened. Through the power of generosity, ethics, patience, enthusiastic effort, concentration, and wisdom, for the sake of all beings, may we realize and demonstrate our innate goodness. As we enter a time of meditation, if you have an extensive practice, then I invite you to practice in a way that is fitting for you this morning. If you are new to meditation, we will begin with an opening dedication. We will sound the bell 3 times. There will be a brief guided meditation, and then we will spend approximately 10 to 12 minutes in noble silence. Let's begin by breathing together. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness. Eyes and my heart with the sound of the bell. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness, transcend the path of anxiety and sorrow, and realize the true nature of who they are.
And so as the sound of the bell recedes, guiding us, showing us the way into stillness. If you need to take another breath or adjust your posture, anything that you need to do to partner with the body to find a new level of gentleness and ease, and as the breath settles in now to its natural flow, its natural rhythm, we can check in once more with the body, noticing any points that might be tense or contracted, remembering to release the forehead, unfurrow the eyebrows, the jaw rests easy, the shoulders drop, and the belly releases and softens. Connected to the breath by always keeping a small amount of our awareness on the rise and fall of the tummy. The body is gentle and light. We can bring our awareness now to awareness itself, noticing whenever the mind is distracted by a sound, perhaps voices in the hallway or the next room, noticing when the mind is distracted by a sensation, an itch or an ache, tummy rumble perhaps, and noticing when the mind is distracted by a thought. All these things, they simply come and they go. They rise and they fall. Our practice is to cultivate an understanding of what it is they come and go within. Our practice is to cultivate the knower, not the things that are known. And so, connected to the breath, the body is gentle, easy, and light. The mind is clear, yet receptive to whatever might arise, and the heart is open. We can move more deeply now into our meditation. I close my eyes and I see clearly. I stop trying to listen and I hear truth. I am silent, yet my heart sings. I seek no contact and find union. I am still and move forward. I am gentle and need no strength. I am humble and remain whole, returning again and again to the breath, returning again and again home. And so I invite you to remain in a meditative state. And I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sound, noticing the sound of my voice or the sound of rustling in the room. And as you become aware of the sense door of sound, can you keep a small amount of your awareness, maybe 5%, on that still, deep silence within? Awareness of that silence that is not dependent on external circumstances. Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of touch as you notice the feeling of your clothing upon your skin, or the feeling of the chair or the cushion beneath you. And as you become aware of matter, material, form, at the same time, can you keep a small amount of your awareness on that which is formless? In other words, can you be aware of awareness itself? Next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the sense door of sight as you slowly begin to open your eyes, not focusing hard on anything, just allowing in some color and some light. And as you become aware of shapes, stuff, things, at the same time, can you be aware of the space around them? Can you sense the space within this room? And can you sense the space around our planet? And on some level know that even though we are sitting perfectly still, we have never been in the same space for more than an instant. As our planet rotates, as it orbits, as the whole galaxy is hurling through the universe. And next, I invite you to bring your awareness to the breath as we take a conscious breath together. And as you exhale, become present in the here and the now, in this time and in this place. Thank you, Jordan. All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. There it is. And of course, again, we honor our veterans this weekend, actually every day, but we take a day out of the year to really take time to thank them for their heart of service. And so I want to begin this morning by personally thanking everyone in the Sangha, not only those here and present, but those joining us from all around the world in our streaming. I want to thank everyone so much for the beautiful cards and emails, text messages, and well wishes as I took time last week to honor the passing of my mother. I cannot tell you how much I feel incredibly supported by this community, absolutely lifted up. The whole experience has been really quite amazing and very, very rich. And so I kind of want to share today some of that richness. This is fertile ground for spiritual awakening that is present when we say goodbye. And so one of my teachers used to say, how awkward the first hello and the last goodbye. So I want to set the tone for this talk with this little quote from Rumi. And the quote goes like this: goodbyes are only for those who love with their eyes. those who love with their heart and soul, there is no such thing as separation. While saying goodbye does mean accepting that a part of our life is now over, it also provides us with many gifts and a chance to realize just how blessed we have been. I believe it was the great and ancient sage, Winnie the Pooh, who said, "How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." So goodbye also brings us face to face with powerful emotions, habit patterns, and sometimes tremendous change. The Buddha invites us to open fully to those experiences, because even though life circumstances change, our practice does not. I was speaking with many members of the Sangha this week, and one of them shared with me that although it was 3 or 4 years since her brother had passed, she never had a chance to say goodbye. And when she finally did, to the beckoning of a friend of hers who actually set up a little ritual and a ceremony, and they said goodbye, and in that moment, after she said goodbye, she was able to quit drinking. Amazing stories from the Sangha about saying goodbye. I asked my friend Sergio while I was at the hospice house, I asked my friend Sergio, who is a Buddhist chaplain in the St. Luke system, to come and sit with me. And he asked me how I was doing, and I shared with him that this was a level of pain that I had never known before. And in sitting with this pain, in staying with it, not running, our society doesn't want us to do that. It wants to give us every exit ramp we possibly can find. Drugs, alcohol, video games, shopping, sex, religion. I mean, my goodness, it is vast, isn't it? The list of ways that we can distract ourselves, sometimes even if ever so slightly. So as I sat with this pain, as I stayed with it, what arose was an amazing sweetness. There is a sweetness. In a way, and I'm dating myself here because I don't think they put prizes in the bottom of the cereal box anymore, but when I was a kid, I would always dig around through all of the cereal to find the prize at the bottom. In a way, it was kind of like that. In staying with the pain, there was a sweetness, a connection that was far, far beyond physical bodies. And that is why, for example, in the indigenous tradition, in the Cherokee language, there isn't even a word for goodbye, because for them it doesn't exist. You see, our practice makes a clear distinction between pain and suffering. I began to notice through this experience how rich and so many gifts. I began to notice through this experience of being with my mother in her last few days. I began to notice how the body would express grief in waves, cycles. And in being aware of that, I could relax into that sacred rhythm of when the waves and the cycles would arise. And when the body would weep, I would be aware of it expressing grief. Sometimes it was laughter. And various mind states would generate thoughts of despair, thoughts of control, trying to control the situation, ordering nurses and doctors and people around. I would notice mind states, self-pity, and I became aware of the suffering that those thoughts created within the body. So there was this amazing awareness, and as these thoughts would come, I would notice how it made the body feel. And in being aware of these thoughts and how it made the body feel, I could simply watch them come and go. What we often talk about in our practice as bare attention. So this bare attention creates for us in our practice one of the four faces of the heart: equanimity. Equanimity is one of the most sublime emotions of the Buddhist practice. It is grounds for wisdom and freedom, and it is equanimity that is the protector of compassion and love. While some may think of equanimity as a dry neutrality or a cool aloofness, this kind of a flat line response to the world, mature equanimity produces a radiance and a warmth of being. I have been experiencing equanimity in this way, and far from it being flat or stiff or a cool aloofness, it was instead an expansion of the heart itself, a stretching of the capacity to hold tremendous joy and tremendous sorrow all at the same time. I'm going to say that again. A stretching of the heart's capacity to hold tremendous joy and tremendous sorrow all at the same time. This is quite different than my life the way that it used to be before I became aware of my spiritual path and the practice itself, because my awareness would collapse down onto only one. And the thoughts and the feelings within the body, the thoughts would exacerbate the feeling of grief. And then I would be launched into suffering. Pain, I promise you, we can all handle. We're built for it. Suffering makes it unbearable and drives people to addiction, suicidal ideation, despair, and it all exacerbates. So what a gift, the awareness alone. If that's all that you are able to cultivate, that's enough. As my teacher would say, awareness unties every knot we have. So in the Pali, this is the language of the Buddha, equanimity is upekkha. It was our chant this morning, upekkha, referring to the ease of being that comes from seeing a much bigger picture. It refers to the equanimity that arises from the power of observation, bare attention, the ability to see without being caught by what we see. When well developed, such power gives rise to a great sense of peace and well-being. Equanimity is a protection from the 8 worldly winds from the Pali Canon, from the writings of the Buddha. And those 8 worldly winds, those 8 things that we are caught up in everyday life are praise and blame, success and failure, or gain and loss, which is often more commonly called, pleasure and pain, and fame and disrepute. Most people are caught up in those each and every moment of their waking experience. And the Buddha invites us to bring awareness to that. One approach to developing equanimity is to cultivate the qualities of mind that support it. And there are 7 qualities of mind that support the development of equanimity. And I have provided a handout for us today. It is at the door into the meditation hall, and it's 2-sided, so please take one with you when you leave. Those of you joining us online, I will try to post that handout on our Facebook page or on our website. So I want to touch on these 7 briefly. These 7 ways to develop equanimity, because I have been so amazed at how the practice and the community, remember, we take refuge in the 3 jewels: our Buddha nature, the Dharma, the teachings, the 7 qualities of creating and developing equanimity, and the Sangha. I feel so supported by this Sangha, so uplifted. And the teachings, all of these have helped me to realize, sometimes even just glimpsing the Buddha nature through this experience of my mother's passing. So let's touch on these briefly. The first of the qualities of mind to develop equanimity is virtue or integrity. When we live and act with integrity, we feel confident about our actions and our words. I believe it was St. Augustine that said, when you come from a place of love, do whatever you want to do. Kind of simple, isn't it? So when we are confident about our actions and our words, which results in the equanimity of blamelessness. In other words, it is a complete release of judgmentalism. The second support for equanimity is the sense of assurance that comes from faith. In the Pali language, in Buddhism, faith is known as sada. Sada. And it is also translated as confidence. If we have confidence, for example, in our ability to engage in our spiritual practice, in other words, it's not about being spiritual and not being spiritual, about meditating or not meditating. When are you not meditating? What isn't spiritual? When people ask me, oh, you're Buddhist, what is God? What is not? So when you are confident that in every moment you are experiencing the sacred, arises in that sada, a sense of faith. It's not blind faith. It's not a concept. It's just a knowing. It's a heart knowing that in every moment, yes, this too is sacred. The third support for a well-developed sense of equanimity, much as we might develop physical strength or balance or stability with the body in the gym, so too can we develop strength and balance and stability of mind. This is done through our practice, through cultivating concentration and mindfulness. This is our meditation practice every day. Every day we sit, and we do not sit to be like the Buddha. We sit as the Buddha every day. This practice cultivates a strength and a well-developed mind and the ability to be present with what is. The fourth support is a sense of well-being. We do not need to leave well-being to chance. In Buddhism, it is considered appropriate and helpful to cultivate and enhance our well-being. We often overlook the well-being that is easily available in every daily moment. Even taking time to enjoy a cup of tea, a sunset, a breath of fresh air. This is our mindfulness practice. It cultivates a sense of well-being. The joy of simply being without the need to do, accomplish, to effort, to strive. There is full well-being in just being. The fifth support for equanimity is understanding or wisdom. Wisdom is an important factor in learning to have an accepting awareness, this bare attention, to be present with whatever is happening without the mind or heart contracting or resisting what is. Wisdom can teach us to separate people's actions from who they are. We can agree or disagree with their actions, but remain balanced in our relationship with who they are. In other words, we can always see their light, even when they cannot see theirs. And we can always remain balanced in each and every encounter. Another way that wisdom supports equanimity is in understanding that people are responsible for their own decisions, which helps us to find equanimity in the face of other people's suffering. We can wish the best for them, but avoid being buffeted by a false sense of responsibility for their well-being. It's a way of understanding that that we do not know another soul's journey. And so when we project good, bad, right, or wrong onto them, we create suffering for ourselves and for them as well. So allowing them to be where they are. The sixth support is insight, a deep seeing into the nature of things as they are. My teacher would always say, we see the world as we are instead of seeing the world as it is. So one of the primary insights is the nature of impermanence. In the deepest forms of this insight, we see that things change so quickly that we cannot hold on to anything. And eventually the mind lets go of clinging. Letting go brings equanimity. The greater the letting go, the deeper the equanimity. Everything is in the process of becoming something else. Everything. The final support is freedom, which comes as we begin to let go of our reactive tendencies. The whole experience was truly amazing for me. And it was interesting how certain people were projecting devastation and despair onto me. How horrible this must have been for you. I'm like, well, no, it wasn't horrible. It was painful. But in my practice, we have an amazing relationship with pain. It is beautiful and has a sweetness in it. And so, in the same way, not reacting from an old pattern of speech and behavior towards people, just allowing the moment to be. And so we can get a taste of what this means by noticing areas in which we perhaps were once reactive and are now no longer reactive. For example, some issues that might have upset us when we were teenagers prompt no reaction at all now. In the Buddhist practice, we work to expand the range of life experiences in which we are free. And that's what arose in the moment of Mom's passing. The only thing I could say is, you're free. Mama, you're free. And it was there was an energy there that far surpassed what I was feeling and added to it. And it was incredibly expansive. So equanimity has these two forms to it. One comes from the power of observation, this bare attention, and one that comes from inner balance. These two come together in our mindfulness practice, and mindfulness becomes stronger, and so does our equanimity. We see with greater independence and freedom. And at the same time, equanimity becomes an inner strength that keeps us balanced in the middle of all that is. And a little poem came through me through this whole experience. It was just an expression, and it kind of goes like this. If you want to see true, you must look through the blue at the times when we say goodbye. There ain't no preacher that can reach you any deeper than the teardrops in your eyes. It's the hard times, the dark times, the times alone that pave the road to our one true home. The deeper the pain, the sweeter the rain. Don't run away. Thank you.
As we move from our lesson to our heart practice, it is okay to stretch, to shift your posture, or take a breath. A heart practice is an expression of the heart that we share with the universe. During this time, many people like to acknowledge this expression with a gesture, such as the Anjali Mudra, placing your hand on your heart, or if you are in meditation posture, flipping your hands upside down as a way to radiate love. Today's practice is a gratitude practice. Let's begin the practice of gratitude by feeling how year after year you have cared for your own body and mind. Now, let yourself begin to acknowledge all that has supported you in this care. I hold in my heart gratitude for the care and labor of 1,000 generations of ancestors who came before me. I hold in my heart gratitude for the creatures of the sky, earth, and water whose joyful exertion blesses every day. I hold in my heart gratitude for the family and friends I have been given and the community I share. I hold in my heart gratitude for the blessings of this earth I have been given. I hold in my heart gratitude for the measure of health I have at this moment. I hold in my heart gratitude for the teachings and lessons I have been given and my teachers, both formal and informal. I hold in my heart gratitude for just as we are grateful for our blessings, so too can we be grateful for the blessings of others. Taking a moment now to let your heart fill with the warmth, love, and light of this gratitude, allowing it to expand and fill your whole body. allowing it to intensify even more until you become a light, a beacon influencing everyone you meet today. And now a conscious breath together. In the true spirit of dana, the Buddhist practice of generosity, temple services are freely given. In the same way, if you choose to give, please give with a generous heart, not in return for something you've received, but so that others who may seek refuge in the Sangha may find it here in this temple. Dana boxes are located in the back of the meditation hall. And thank you all for our wonderful volunteers. And thank you to our TBC ambassadors, those who have committed to regular electronic donations. It's not about the amount. The monthly giving helps us to set a budget here at TBC. If you would like to become an ambassador, just point your camera at the QR code in front or come by our website, templebuddhist.com. And thank you, Christine, for your beautiful music. And thank you, Victor, for sharing your wisdom with us today. And thank you to each and every one of you for sharing your practice. Let us prepare now to close our services with the bodhicitta dedication. I'll help. May the pure, brilliant sun of bodhicitta dawn in each and every heart and mind, dispelling the darkness of suffering and confusion unstoppably until all are illumined and awakened. And with our hands together in front of our hearts, let us go forth from this place, entering each moment in innocence, guided by the wisdom of our hearts. And as we open our hands, open our eyes, shine our light into the world, namaste.
Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, everyone, so much. Just a few announcements if you have a couple minutes. Don't forget, there are delicious crumble cookies, coffee, and tea downstairs in the hospitality room. Please don't forget to introduce yourself. Say hi to someone. Make a new friend. Expand your Sangha. And thank you, Carrie, for everything that you do with the crumble cookies. We have the best cookies in the whole city. So. Also, today begins a new program. Temple Buddhist Center is offering courses in nonviolent communication, the book by Marshall Rosenberg. If you have never read it, it is a iconic, groundbreaking work that has changed the world. And so our very own James Prieto is going to be teaching kind of an introduction to this today from 1 to 3. And he has some other dates. There's flyers out on the counter out front. Also, starting at 11:45 today is our Growing Your Practice program, which is a program kind of for some of our intermediate meditators, a way to really concretize or create a solid foundation in your meditation and your mindfulness practice. So join us downstairs at 11:45. And next Sunday is Authentic Relating. Brian and Tim do a great job with this class, which is a class that helps adults learn to speak a little more from the heart and perhaps a little less from the head. So join them next Sunday from 1 to 3. And our New Year's Silent Retreat is coming. The registration is now available online. And our retreat theme, and this is you can join several ways. You can be residential, which means you stay at the retreat center with us for the 4 days. You can also commute, come in the morning, go home at night. Also, you can join virtually. And our theme is equanimity in a world out of balance. So today's talk was it wasn't meant to be, but it was kind of a little bit of a plug for the retreat. So please check that out. There is scholarships available as well. And then Tai Chi Cha every Tuesday evening. We had over 10 people last Tuesday, so there's a nice growing group of folks that are coming and learning Tai Chi Cha, which is a wonderful complement to your formal sitting meditation practice. And finally, don't forget to sign up for our newsletter or our volunteer opportunities on the counter outside of the meditation hall. And thank you, Liz, who's probably watching at home, for building our little online store. Lots of cool stuff. She's always putting new things up in there. And then finally, I will leave this up here for you. Some folks like to take a picture of all of our different programs. Dave leads Recovery Dharma on Thursday evenings. Karen and Matt do the Buddha and the Bean every Tuesday morning. Many wonderful opportunities for our Sangha to find connection, to deepen their understanding of the Dharma itself, or to find community, or to be of service to the greater community. Again, everyone, thank you so much. And as you go into your day, I wish you peace and blessings.